Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Chris Avalon here, coming at you to bring you a brand new recap episode of Pose Season 2, Episode 3, entitled Butterfly slash Cocoon, as in face slash off. Remember that movie, Face Off? But this is Butterfly Cocoon. But anyway, so the episode was written by Our Lady J and directed by Janet Mock, who, as I stated in my last review, congratulations to her for getting a big deal with Netflix. She's going to be developing a couple of programs for Netflix, so I'm looking forward to seeing what she actually brings forth in regards of speaking, maybe more programs regarding queer people of color, some more roles for trans women, which I absolutely loved last night's episode. First, let's start off with the little subtleties, which was Angel talking about being the face of Ford's 1990 campaign. So Mrs. Ford, if I'm correct, Betty Ford, not Betty Ford Clinic, but the other Betty Ford from Ford Models. So basically, she asked Angel why would she want to be the face of her campaign, and I guess she didn't like her answer because she didn't get chosen. So her getting that phone call right afterwards was devastating to her, and of course she was upset, so she took it out on Blanca, talking about you and your dreams. Why don't you focus on yourself and not focus on everybody else? And to me, it's just like Blanca's being a typical mother, where she knows she doesn't have long for this earth, so she's trying to do what she can to make sure that her kids are secure within themselves and have something going for them, so that way when she's gone, she doesn't have to basically worry about them. So I understood that Angel was coming from a place of anger, but it kind of happens, and Blanca just let it go, as in the Frozen song. She just let it go and moved on and let her have her moment. So Angel and Poppy sharing a kiss, like, we all knew this was going to come. It was only a matter of time before it was going to happen. And I'm glad it happened. But in the back of my mind, I was a little worried, because I feel that when children of a house, even though we know they're not related, start getting into relationships with each other, it could get messy. So that's kind of what I worry about. Like, should things go left for the both of them, would they be able to coexist in the same house together? Because we've seen it happen numerous times. If you ever had a job and you've gotten in a relationship with someone that you work with and all this other stuff, how sometimes things can go left. And I've been in many jobs where I've seen people who date and it doesn't bode well when shit happens. So I kind of worry for them. While I would like to see Poppy happy and I would like to see Angel happy, I don't know if I want to see them with each other on account of that. So, but I'm interested to see how this all plays out. And we'll get into how it played out in the rest of the episode as we continue. So let's talk about Elektra and her moonlighting as a dominatrix still. So she allowed her client Paul, who we met in last week's episode, to do his little drugs, even though she said that she had a momentary relapse in judgment. And she was like, well, I don't really want to have you doing drugs while I'm doing this work that we're doing, which is I'm dominating you and stuff. But of course, Paul throws a little extra money at her and she kind of goes along with it. So he comes in with this gas mask and he's doing all kinds of like this drug cocktail, and he's chained up in the what do you call it? The sling. Almost forgot what it was. Like, shout out to the leather community. I was just in a sex store. Well, not necessarily a sex store. It was like a leather store. Rough Trade in LA. I was, because I live not too far from there. So I went in there. Really nice stuff. I love the smell of leather. But child, that shit is expensive. But I don't have an issue with putting down money for certain things, like when you want to buy a harness, or like a lot of the gear that a lot of us within the LGBT LMNOP community like to wear, if you're wanting to feel your leatheristic oats. But anyway, so back to the story. So he was like, "Can you come back when the drugs kick in, and then we can get so I can get the full experience, and then you can go and do what you need to do to me." So she agrees. She goes out to the room with the other trans dominatrix girls, and she returns back to the room a couple of minutes later to find Paul dead in the sling with the gas mask over on his face. So she's trying to pull the vomit out of his mouth because he apparently choked on his own vomit. And there was a whole lot of that. So she started panicking and she didn't know what to do. So basically, her first instinct is to go to Blanca, who we all know is her daughter, that she kind of just kicked out and treats like shit and then comes back to when she needs to, which I never understood that. But because a friend of mine asked that on an actual, not a online friend, but a friend of mine was on Twitter, and they were, some people I know like to live tweet the episodes, and I'll read through them, and I responded. He was just like, I don't know why she treats Blanca the way she treats her, but then she's always running back to us. I said because Blanca's the only one who'll call her out on her shit. So I feel like she's gonna go to Blanca consistently because she can trust Blanca in so many ways, and Blanca is always gonna know the right thing to do. So she goes to Blanca. Blanca gives her a strong drink. Um, Electra tells Blanca what happened. And Blanca's first instinct is to call the police, which, if anybody who is from a marginalized community, especially if you're gay or trans and black or Latino, you know that's not going to bode well. The police will take the side of a white man before they take anybody's. And especially if it's a white dude from Wall Street, they're going to clean that up and make you an example. So Electra didn't like the idea of going to the police, so she decides, let me go ask Candy. So Candy, who is now working the pole like Cardi B used to do back in the day, she basically went to Candy and was asking her for help. So Candy was like, oh, you're not going to go to the cops because if you go to the cops, this is ridiculous. This is what will happen. So she basically takes her to a friend of hers who I didn't think we got her name in when the introduction came along. The friend who was a streetwalker was played by Peppermint from RuPaul's Drag Race, and a known drag performer in New York City before she went on Drag Race. She's from that world of she's performed with the likes of Caswell and Sherry Vine and a whole bunch of other legends within our community. Um, so Peppermint is playing this woman. I believe her name was Euphoria, which her name was mentioned at the end of the episode, but it was not. I don't believe it was mentioned during the scenes when they entered. Oh, hi, this is Euphoria. Euphoria, this is so and so. I didn't hear that in the scene, so somebody forgot to inform our Lady J to incorporate who the person's name was. So, Euphoria basically shared her story about hooking up with a white guy in the back of his car. And apparently, I guess he couldn't get it up. So she made a comment to him about his dick. Or he's talking about you using teeth. I was like, bitch, ain't nobody ever said that I cheese grate when I'm sucking a dick. Ain't never happened. So of course he didn't like that because of course the motherfucker couldn't perform. So he decides, oh, let me just slap your ass around and whatever. So then she's basically trying to defend herself. The cops pull up. He goes and tells them something or another. I believe he knew somebody was in the police department. Or probably was a cop his damn self or had family members. And Euphoria was carted off to jail, to the men's prison. Rikers Island, was beat up, assaulted, sexually. A lot of stuff was going on. So this is what we deal with, and this was the reality. So they're just saying, like, you know what, you're not going to be treated like a human being when you go to jail. If you're a transgender and a person of color, they're not going to put you in a prison of the sex that you say you are. On your birth certificate, it says that your name is you are a male. They're going to put your ass with men. I don't understand why they do it. I don't get why they do it. I remember one time, and I will share this story, that I had gotten into a fight and I got arrested for assault, and I wound up going to jail. Not Rikers Island or other stuff. I wound up when I was living in New York, I wound up going to what was it? We were like on like in Center Street in that area where they always shoot Law and Order at the courthouse. So they have the courthouse upstairs, and then they have the prisons, like the little cells and stuff downstairs that they keep you. And it happened on the weekend. So the fucked up part is, if you get arrested on the weekend, you don't see the judge until midnight Monday morning. So I was kind of tight with that. So I had to sit up in there, and I'm starving. All they had was milk. Ew. I don't drink no carton milk. That's like the shit they give you in school. And then they had like the like cheese in between slices of white bread. And but the point is, we just bring it back. I'm having a traumatic experience about the food. Um, the point is basically when I was there, they had you with people who, as they call it, alternative lifestyles. So they separate you from the other people, the straights, who, if they see that a gay person's put in a cell with them, God forbid something can happen. So they had me with the queens and all these other people and the gays, because I had on like my little low cut tight shirt and my tight pants, and it's like, girl, you were giving a little too much cunt in these outfits. So they stuck me with the gays, and then and the trans, and then they had the others with their own kind, the men with their own kind. So um that's like my little experience. But I could imagine, like, if they don't separate you, they put you in there, and the craziness that you would have to deal with. So after Euphoria shared her story with them about what she had went through, um Candy had another idea, and they decided, oh wait, I'm trying to remember, was it Candy or was it Electra or somebody? I don't remember. Wait, it was Candy. So then Candy decides to take them to I forgot the other woman's name, the bargain basement butcher, who we met in season 1, the one that was shooting Candy in the butt when she had that toilet paper booty. Um, they would go to her because apparently they had heard that she was good at disposing bodies, with no questions asked. Now, if anybody knows history, LGBTQ history, or let's just go with the queer history, everybody knows that this story was pretty much ripped from the headlines of Dorian Corey. Now, for those of you who don't know who Dorian Corey is, Dorian Corey was a legendary drag queen who was most prominently remembered for her memorable performance in Paris is Burning. She was a show queen, a show girl. You see her a lot putting the makeup on and doing her little one-liners and giving just a definition of what is reading and shade and all that other stuff. So if you haven't seen the movie Paris is Burning, definitely check it out. But there's always been this story that has loomed around Dorian Corey since Paris is Burning came out, about a dead body being kept in a chest in her apartment long after she had died. Some friends went over to her home, was looking to get some clothes or whatever to kind of wear amongst each other. This is after she died, so they were going through her clothing and all this other stuff. Had saw that there was this chest that was there, something crazy was in it. They didn't want to investigate it any further. Called the police. Police looked. It was a dead body in there. Did my research. So the person happened to be, because I would check my notes now, the guy's name was Robert Bobby Worley, who was born December 18th, 1938, and he has a criminal background. He basically was arrested for raping and assaulting a woman in 1963 and served 3 years in prison. And he had been estranged from his family since the mid to late 60s. So they had said that they believed that after Paris is Burning had came out, and then Dorian Corey and that whole story, that he had been murdered 20 years prior. And what they were saying is that there were many theories, but the theory they believe is that because in those days when Dorian lived in the Bronx was very violent. There was a lot of shootings and stuff going on. Even Jeannie Livingston said when she was shooting Paris is Burning, there were people, they were shooting, she would hear bullet and gunshots going off in the Bronx. And while the Bronx has still got its issues, it's not as bad as it was back then. Like, it wasn't like the Bronx, you could barely walk through that shit without getting robbed or shot or stabbed or whatever. So so then when that story came out, it was basically like, okay, this is very similar to now Electra is embodying the Dorian Corey story. So there was so much stuff that was just like spot on, taken, ripped from that headline and put into her character. So just to give you all an update on that, if y'all never heard that story, now you do. Now you have a reference to go by with that clip, as well as, if you haven't seen Paris is Burning, definitely check it out. It's on Netflix. Definitely check it out. It's a good movie. It's what I call the gay Bible. What else? So after they go to the woman and she helps get rid of the body, as it was, trying to find out what the measurements are of his body, so that way she can get him in a suitcase, fold him up, throw the lie on him, and then you had to like sew up him in this cloth or whatever, and then put him in something where you wouldn't ever smell him. So Electra did find a chest to put him in after they put the lie over the body, covered it up so that it could absorb the smell, and then sewed him up So that way, they said, once his body starts to deteriorate, then the skin will rip open and then all his guts and stuff will come out. Because this is not like you go into a mortician and they go and they take out your intestines and your heart and all your organs and stuff. This is, you got the body still there with all its shit in it. And it is what it is. So, what else? Where are we? Okay. So, after that, now we find out about Angel. Well, Angel getting chosen to go on the photo shoot. Basically to be the face of the new cosmetics line Wet n Wild Spring Colors collection, which she was given when she was called to go back into Mrs. Ford's office. She was given the opportunity to be the face of their Wet n Wild campaign. She and Poppy make a deal to go on a date and all this other stuff. He winds up buying her flowers and everything, but of course it happens on the same day that she's doing her photo shoot. So the photo shoot goes over longer than expected, and they wind up not going on their date, which upset him. But at the end of the day, Angel is following her dream. So that line that I absolutely lived for was the fact that she was saying that I'm following my dream. Well, he said that you were following your dream, but I wish that I was a part of that dream as well, because it just seems to me that Poppy is loving Angel a lot harder than she's loving him back, but her career is starting to take off and she's starting to make something of herself. And now there's this whole situation of them trying to figure out where exactly does he fit in to her dream in regards to the career. Can you balance a relationship with this career that's taking off about her being this face of a makeup line, which could eventually spiral into something bigger? So, seeing the part where she was saying, like, I didn't want to go and ruin a good thing, and I'm afraid to get in a relationship because we have something good that's going between each other, and I don't want to mess this up. I kind of definitely saw where she was coming from, because this is what I said in the video earlier, is that you have a good thing going, you have a great relationship, but you don't want to mess it up because you guys start out as friends, but then you're now gradually sliding into the whole lover thing, which usually is how people get when they come into relationships. A lot of times you start out as friends, become lovers, and then you bring it together and it becomes a beautiful thing. So give it a shot, Angel. What could go wrong? Oh, like I said before, a situation where y'all break up and then there's a bitterness, and you're gonna hopefully not have people in the house choosing sides. Like, we don't want Blanca having to choose sides between her kids, but we're not gonna need Damon having to choose sides, because he said, I'm Team Poppy, and honey, I'm Team Poppy too. Because Poppy been hitting the gym, quiet as his kept. We know this. He's been hitting the gym. Okay, so we talked about Electric Candy and Old Girl mummifying Paul. So we talked about Angel standing up to Poppy to continue her photo shoot. Then we mentioned the conversation between Angel and Poppy at the dinner table. At the dinner table, he was basically saying that I wish I was part of your plan, and I wish I was a part of this whole thing that you're doing. And he's saying, I'm really proud of you. I want you to accomplish your dream. I just wish that I was a part of that dream as well. It was like, child, that was a line that I was living for. And I want to say thank you to Pose for showing trans people in such a positive, beautiful light, that you can find love, that a man will love you regardless of who you are. Well, if you're a girl with a penis or whatever the case, because so many times we hear this where the men get so caught up in that, and the men want you to be their dirty little secret, because these men like a woman with a little something extra, and you want to be their little secret, and you don't want nobody knowing about it. And how men will protect their masculinity at all costs, where, oh, you know what, I will let you suck my dick on a Friday, but then Saturday, I'm going to act like I don't know you, or I'm going to beat your ass, so that way it proves that I'm still a man. Like, there's so many of these things that go on over here. So many trans women of color being murdered. So seeing that there's someone like Poppy who is loving Angel for just her and who she is unapologetically, I'm loving it. And I'm loving seeing this on television. Yeah, and I think because we're coming to a close, there wasn't a lot that was going on in regards to this the episode, but I did like the fact that we saw that Blanca and Electra were basically sharing their PTSD about this whole thing with the dead body, and how Electra said that she's still having nightmares about the body, and sometimes he wakes her up and then she goes and prays over him and all sort of stuff. But you know what? Once you get used to it, it'll be out of sight, out of mind. You'll forget he's even in that damn closet. So it's unfortunate you have to kind of have that mindset, but sometimes you got to put it out of your mind because of the circumstance in which you're in. When you're poor, when you're a person of color, and when you're queer, the odds are definitely stacked against us. We don't have the same privileges or wherewithal. At least we didn't see it that way back in those days. I think times now are different to an extent, but we still have a long way to go. Now, Angel's seeing her Wet and Wild campaign at the pharmacy. Excuse me. That was cute that she got to see herself in a pharmacy, and then she saw her face looking all prettified and all this makeup and stuff. So, who knows? Down the road, she might be able to be the first makeup trans girl to kind of come out with her own line or something like that. We'll see where the story goes down the road. But guess that's it. This is a real short episode. I mean, a short interview. Review. What am I talking about, child? Short review. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Tune in if you would like next time for a recap of Pose episode 4 when that comes out next week. If you like what you saw, click like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about the episode. What were your favorite parts? If you had no idea about the whole Dorian Corey situation, if you've seen Paris is Burning, if you've never seen Paris is Burning, if you would like to see Paris is Burning, by all means do so. Yes, so thank you all for taking the time to watch this clip. Later, darlings.